Oh, it's recording already. Hi guys, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about, wait, first of all, don't mind my eyebrow. If you watch my previous video, you would know why I have my brow like this. I just made the other video, but I wanted to make this video just because I feel like it's so important to a lot of people, especially young people, and that is bullying. Um, it happens a lot nowadays, and maybe it happened before and a lot of us weren't aware of it, because I feel like a lot of the stuff you're not aware of until you go through it. And I mean, me personally, I went through it, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about it, how you can overcome bullying, and also how you can how I overcame bullying, I guess. So I know a lot of younger people have such a hard time just because they go to school every single day. They have to get up for school every single day, and they're there most of their day, and every single day, and they go for 12 years. Like, that's a long time, and they're living through that. They're growing, they're developing, and a lot of people don't understand how it can affect that person so much. So first off, with me, I mean, when I was younger, I was bullied by different people. You have to address it, like address it to your parents. And I know a lot of younger people don't do that just because you feel like, oh, your parents are going to go to the school and they're going to handle it, and now it's going to be worse, or people are going to make fun of you. And I understand that, but me as a person, like, I wish I would have told, like, my mom, you know, at least, you know, someone close to me that's not another friend, because another friend your age, when you're so young, they're not going to understand. They're just going to say, oh, stop being like a baby and stuff like that, just because they want to be cool or whatever the case is. The biggest thing that I hated, or that I hate, that now that I'm older and I realize, so many people, or so many of my friends when I was younger, like, the number one thing was, like, if they thought there was, like, there was some little girls that I was friends with, and they felt like they were just so cool, and they were like a leader kind of thing, and they had like all these people like them and follow them kind of thing. And if there was another person who they followed a lot, they would tell me like, oh, I'm not gonna be your friend if you're friends with her, or stuff like that. Like, that was just like such a big high school thing, if you ask me. Like, not high school, but just even when I was in elementary school, it was just so, a lot of like the friends that I had, I don't know if it's a thing now, but a lot of the friends that I had were like, oh, if you don't give me your cool pens, like, I'm not gonna be your friend. Or if you don't give me your cool markers, like, I'm not gonna be your friend. So I would give it to them. I would be like, okay, whatever, like, this means nothing, like, I want to be your friend still. And it was just like, it's a type of bullying, because they're kind of like making you do things, they're pushing you to do things, or they're making you feel so low, like you're not worth like their friendship or anything. Like you're gonna be by yourself, and everyone's gonna hate you, and or they start, you know, making up rumors. And that's just like more elementary stuff. Like, honestly, I mean, that's just my experience, what I went through, just little like petty immature stuff, but it happens. When I was in middle school, I think in middle school I was bullied by this girl, and she was pretty big. She was just big as in like tall and bigger than me, and she would just push me around, always push me around, like just like joking, but in a way being very aggressive, where she would bully me, and she would know like, oh, I'm bullying her, like I'm pushing her, she's not gonna do anything. And she would go so overboard that I was scared of her. And I've always been the person have better manners than that. I was raised better than that, than to sit there and fight someone or do something. I'd rather speak to someone and let them know what's going on. But in my case, of course, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I wouldn't tell my mom. I wouldn't, you know, tell my teacher, or tell the principal, like, or go to the office and say, hey, like, I'm being bullied. Or not bullied, because I would just think, that wouldn't come across my head like, oh, I'm being bullied. I would just think of it as like, oh, she's so mean to me, she's so mean to me. And there were so many things, or it was times that you know, some people would say stuff out loud in class about me and everyone would start laughing, um, and just so many things like that. And I feel like those are just forms of being bullied, when you're being made fun of, or someone's being mean to you, like beating you up, stealing your lunch money. I mean, obviously anything. And for those people who are in middle school, like I feel like you get bullied more because you people have like this big thing where, like, when you come out from elementary school, you go into middle school, it's like the big stage, like the big new stage in your life, or phase in your life. And it's not. Like, you get lockers and everything, and people are like, oh, I'm gonna get shoved in the locker and all that stuff. And yeah, there's people who do it. Why? Because they hear these stories and they're like, oh, I want to be the one pushing you in the locker. I want to be the one pushing people or bullying them because it's cool. And, like, you know, it's just people who literally grew up with no manners. They feel low about themselves. They don't believe in someone being nice. That's what I think. And then also when it came to high school, it got better, like, meaning, like, it wasn't just like I started school and I was being bullied. No, it was more of like, okay, I made a group of friends, they ended up backstabbing me, just stuff like that. I guess that's a little bit more different, but there was a type of bullying that I went through in high school, which was a best friend that I had, and I don't really like to talk about it because I'm over it, but at the same time, like, I still to this day don't know, like, what happened, what exactly happened. She has her stories or her opinions or whatever, but pretty much, like, we were best friends. She literally started, like, threatening me, saying she was gonna beat me up, like, literally from one day to the next. I had no idea, like, what was going on. I went up to her and I tried talking to her, and she's like, you better get away from me because I would literally kill you. And, like, she was just, like, saying, like, the meanest things, and I'm just like, what? Like, what did I do? I asked mutual friends, like, you know, what's going on with her? Like, why is she telling me these things? Like, did I do something? Like, whatever. And she was literally, like, a sister to me. She was one of the closest people to me at that time. I was never the person to talk behind her back, make up stuff about her, anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe something happened. Someone told her something that maybe it was a lie and she believed it or whatever. But I remember I called her one day after school and I told her, like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, you know, you can just talk to me, be honest. Like, did someone tell you something that maybe wasn't true, and you don't even want to, like, speak to me or whatever? Like, what's going on? She's like, no. She's like, I just don't like you, and she's like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care. At that point, I'm in high school. I don't care. I feel like if someone's gonna be that rude to you and that low, they're not good people. Anyone that's gonna make you choose a friendship, you know, tell you, oh, if you're friends with her, I'm not gonna be friends with you, forget about it. They're not true friends. Real friends will not do that. And you will realize that until, I feel like, you're out of high school, because when you're in high school, you tend to look at everything and so much, like, you pay attention to everything so much, like the way you look, the way, who you hang out with, just so many things, just because you want to, you know, to fit in. And that's the whole purpose of life, I feel like. Not the whole purpose of life, meaning, like, that's the whole message to life. It's just like, you should not care what people think about you. And I feel like a lot of people realize after high school, after so many years of, you know, going through, like, trying to look the best and everything, you realize, like, I don't care what anyone says, because at the end of it, like, your true friends are gonna still be by your side. And you don't, after high school and you're in college and, you know, maybe you start a job, you don't have that much time for friends, I would say, because that's just my opinion. That's my schedule, but I mean, to some people it's different. And yes, you can have your friends, but at the same time, it's better to have a few true friends. And, you know, see them than to have so many friends. You don't have time for them. You don't really know them. You don't know, you know, what if they're talking behind your back. You don't know what kind of friends they are. Like, I don't know. My point is, if you're going through any type of bullying, my advice is that whether you're in elementary school, whether you're in middle school, whether you're in high school, you should speak, you should let it out. Speak to someone about it. I would say your mom. If your parents don't want to listen, you